move on to our final and third presentation, and that is a special one for our retiring chief of our fire department, Mike DuRee, who is here, I know, somewhere. There he is. Let's give him a big round of applause. We have a series of presentations, which we're going to start here in just a second. I just want to open us up. I want to just first, Chief, obviously, please come forward if you can come take to the mic, and there'll be a few folks that are going to come up and do some presentations. Just want to start off. We'll give you our presentation in just a minute, but just to open up, Chief, we want to all wish you just the very best on your retirement from the city of Long Beach. We know your work is not done. I'm sure you have many adventures ahead of you. And I just wanted, on behalf of the city, just to thank you for your service, your incredible service to the fire department over many years, that you have held numerous positions, not just in leadership and certainly as fire chief, but also your work when you were head of the association and when you were running around putting fires out as well. And you have been a great partner to everybody on this dais, and we want to thank you for your incredible work. We're going to come back to the council in a minute. We have a couple presentations, and then we're going to go back to the city council. So I'm going to start by asking, I know we have a representative here from Patrick O'Donnell's office who's going to go first, and then we have one from Supervisor Hahn's office, and then we'll turn this over to the city manager.
Well, good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. My name is Nicholas, and I am a field representative for Assemblymember Patrick O'Donnell, who represents the 70th Assembly District. I'm here today on behalf of Assemblymember Patrick O'Donnell to present this resolution, which lists all of Chief DuRee's accomplishments. So with that, on behalf of the California State Assembly, congratulations on the completion of your distinguished service as the Fire Chief of the Long Beach Fire Department. In recognition of your willingness to go above and beyond the call of duty, we commend your commitment to protecting lives, property, and the environment, as well as improving the quality of life and safety of the Long Beach community. Thank you for your 24 years of dedication to supporting the mission and vision of the Long Beach Fire Department. We wish you many years of success. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Supervisor Hahn's office, please.
Thank you.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, I'm Herlinda Chico, Field Deputy for Supervisor Janice Hahn. On behalf of the supervisor, she's disappointed she couldn't make it here, but she did want me to tell you, in her short time of representing Long Beach as the county supervisor, you have been incredible, an incredible partner. She recognized the efforts of Long Beach Fire at the Board of Supervisors meeting, and she wants to thank you for all the partnerships, all the collaborations that we've done. It was so important to her that the city of Long Beach and the county work closer together, and you were instrumental in doing that. So I won't read all of the whereases because you have plenty of time now to do that, but I did want to present this beautiful scroll on behalf of Supervisor Hahn, signed by all 5 supervisors of the Board of Supervisors.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to be moving on to City Manager Pat West.
Mike DuRee. I don't like following you. What can I say about Mike DuRee? I'm going on 13 years with working with Mike. Mike has taught me a lot as a department head and a city manager. He's taught me that unions and labor can work very closely together with city management, which we have. And Mike used to represent labor, and now he's our fire chief. And we have the same relationship with Rex Pritchard now and other folk in POA. So the groundwork that you laid certainly educated me that to have a great relationship with labor and all that. I learned a lot about firehouses and fire departments from Mike and his team. I also want to say one of the classy things that Mike did is allow his 5 command staff, the deputy and assistant chiefs, to have total access to the city management team, to the city council. Some department heads don't like to do that, and they kind of keep a leash around the assistants, but Mike didn't do that. So when it came time for us to replace Mike, we interviewed those 5 command staff, and every single one of those folk could do the job. It was very difficult. We ended up choosing Javier, but again, all 5 of them could have done the job, and that's because of Mike. One of the things I'm going to miss, that we're all going to miss, I'm speaking to our department heads. Every Wednesday we meet at 10 o'clock for a couple-hour meeting, and one of the most fun banter that we experience is the chief of police versus the fire chief. So I have to say that the last bite, Robert Luna is winning.
No.
Yes, he is. The last 2, Mike. In fact, I'll repeat them here.
No.
No, I won't. But it's been just so much fun for all of us to see what a fantastic relationship our police department and our fire department has. And the 2 of those guys will go back and forth a lot, and we're just in tears laughing, and so are they. So we just appreciate that camaraderie, and that sets the tone for all of us to work together. So with that, Mike, we have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to get you this piece of glass, and I know you'll treasure it.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Very much.
Thank you. And representing our Firefighter Association, Rex Pritchard.
Oh boy.
Rex Pritchard, President of Long Beach Firefighters. I've sat at this dais for quite a while, and where we've had a few minor disagreements with the fire chief over the years. But I'm happy to say, and so proud of the fact that your last council meeting, my last time at the dais here addressing you as fire chief, I am sad to see you go. You have been amazing for this department, amazing for this city. You are leaving this department better off now than how you found it. You've cultivated and brought forward and developed a team behind you. So we couldn't ask and thank you enough for what you've done for this department. And what I have for you, I'll give at your office before you leave, and I promise you mine's gonna be the best. So, so anyways, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Rex. From the Water Department, we have Chris Garner.
Yes. So it's my pleasure to let Mike know that the city manager, the assistant city manager, the department, actually the deputy city manager, and all the department heads have chipped in and made a donation to a organization that's close to his heart, the U.S. Vets, and this is on behalf of all the department heads.
Man, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm going to turn this over now to some of the council members who have some comments. I'll close, and then I'll let you close, Mike. We'll present something to you. Councilwoman Price.
Thank you, Chief. I want to congratulate you on your retirement. You look way too young to be retiring. It's just not even right. I'm sort of jealous right now. But you've been a tremendous leader for the city, a great ally to all of us, educating us, which I really appreciate from department heads when they really take the time to understand where we're coming from in terms of what our constituents' needs are and offer solutions. I've never come to you with an issue where if you weren't able to do it, you haven't said, well, I can't do this, but what about if we did this? Or what would you think of that? And that really helps me. Bless you. That really helps me, and I know a lot of my colleagues, because especially when you're new, you don't know what you don't know. And the department heads that are willing to, you know, offer that olive branch and say to you, I know what you're trying to do. How would this work for you? Really helped me a lot. It was made the transition very, a lot easier for me. So I thank you for that. And I think as a result of you coming at the job from that perspective, you have the type of personality that makes you a friend. And I didn't, we weren't friends. We knew each other, but we weren't friends before I got on council. But because I felt like you were personally trying to help me and every single one of my colleagues accomplish successes in our districts in whatever way your resources would allow you to do that, it made me have a lot of respect and affinity for you, and makes you a very likable person for that reason. So I've learned a lot from you, watching you through the years, watching you handle some very difficult situations, and the manner in which you do it, holding your head up high, having dignity for what's important to you, holding steadfast to the values that you believe are true for you and your family. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned about humility, and I've learned about what leadership means. So I thank you for showing me those lessons, for your friendship, and I wish you the very best on your retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Mungo.
Thank you, Chief. Over the last year, I've gotten to work a lot more with you in my other role, and I feel that it is important to state that not only on a local level, but on a regional and a national, and quite frankly, on an international level, that you've been recognized and should continue to be recognized for the amazing things that you've done, not only here in Long Beach, but that you've allowed our firefighters to do internationally. And so our department is known throughout the world, and it is amazing to know anywhere you travel in the world that people want to know, oh, you're from Long Beach. You guys provide aid to everyone, and that's not possible without your leadership and your fierce competitive nature on the county level to make sure that we continue to be represented. So I look forward to seeing that in our new chief, because there's a lot of chiefs out there fighting for a lot of things, and Chief DuRee has done an excellent job at representing Long Beach, and there's a lot more that we can do over the next few years, but we wouldn't be where we are today without you and your hard work, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Hi, Chief. Sorry to see you go, but I'm very happy for you. I think on behalf of the First District residents, you've been extremely clear and direct, with policy and community issues. You've come to forums where we've talked about homelessness, and it's been very clear, and we really appreciate that time you've spent with us. Weathering storms internally, externally, but also just being a human, being able to talk about our families, I think is really a great thing. You're a great father, a great husband, and it surely shows in your work. And lastly, I think one thing that will imprint in my mind is when Captain Rosa unfortunately passed away, instead of walking ahead of your rank and file members, you waited for every single rank and file member of your family really to walk by you and greet them. And I really appreciated that about you. And I thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilmember Pierce.
I want to echo everybody's sentiments. Coming into council and getting to know department heads, it's always, you guys have been doing the work for so long, and you've been leading the team that represents our city. And so I think echoing that you guys have been leaders in the region and nationally is that it contributed to you and to your leadership and how much you work with people. I'm not even that close to you, but I feel so emotional about you leaving. Whenever Pat called me to tell me you're retiring, I think the first thing I said is that is completely unacceptable. I do not accept it. But I understand your commitment to the city. I want to thank you for your service, getting the city through tough times and also through great times. Coming in after Measure A was passed and to see the restorations and to see how thoughtful you are about it and how you work with the departments, but most importantly for me has been the work that you guys have done on mental health. So I just want to thank you for all of that, because I know that that's not typically something that a fire department does, and that you stepped into that and you have staff training other firefighters on things that are really improving people's lives in my district. And so it means a lot to me, and I'm really looking forward to working with our next chief, because I know that you have been a great leader with him. And so it's going to be an amazing time. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Urenga.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I've had the honor and the privilege of seeing two DuRees retire from the city of Long Beach, and I know your dad is got to be very proud. I don't see him in the crowd, so I don't think he's here today, but I know that he's very proud of your service. I've seen you personally come up through the ranks, having worked for the city, having worked with the fire department for a number of years during my stint as recruitment officer for the city of Long Beach. And if there's any one telling point about leadership, it's who you have and who you select to work for you. We have a Class 1, Class A fire department, and that's because of the selections that you've made in terms of the leadership that you have working for you and with you. And if there's any one thing that you're going to take from here is that you're leaving the department in good hands because you selected them, you made those appointments, and they reflect your leadership. So I want to thank you for that and wish you well in your retirement.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman Austin.
Thank you. I too, Chief, would like to just congratulate you and wish you bon voyage. And thank you for serving our city with great dedication and service over the years. You've represented us very competently and strong the entire time that I've known you, and that was long before I became a city council member and long before you were a fire chief. Respected your knowledge and acumen. I think it's important to note that we are losing a very respected fire chief, not just here in the city of Long Beach, but recognized throughout the entire state. He served as the chief of chiefs, representing California Fire Chiefs Association, and I think to just elaborate on Councilmember Uranga's point, you know, the men and women who have come up underneath you and who you've developed as leaders, I think reflects very well on this department and the consistency and the continuity that we have here. I want to thank you also because a few years ago, you mentored a young man, and you didn't have to do that. It was not a lot of fanfare. This young man was from a single-parent household, had a lot of risk, a lot of challenges, and you took that on, and I think that made me see another side of you as a person. And so I'd like to see more and more leaders in your position. There's not too many kids in the city who can say that, you know, they were mentored by the fire chief. I'd love to know where he is today. I think he's living out in the Antelope Valley, but that's something that you and I shared, and like I said, it made me see a whole new side of you, but understood that you were a real public servant, and for that, you know, I respect you very, very much. And so on behalf of the residents of the 8th District, I'd like to just wish you the very, very best in retirement. I know still for you and your family, the best is still yet to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Richardson.
Thank you, Mayor Garcia. So, Mike, I wanted to just, echo in and tell you that I really appreciate you. You've tremendously earned the respect of this council. You've earned the respect, clearly, of your rank and file. You've earned the respect of North Long Beach. I know that you've truly been present. I know that I can call you and, we can talk through an issue. I don't believe that you've ever missed one of our budget meetings. I don't know that you ever have, and that's not something I could say about everyone, but I appreciate your attempts to be present. And I want to acknowledge that, when you came in, it was a very different circumstance in terms of the city's financial position. And there was a lot of frustration, particularly about the city, that your inability, the fire department's inability to really respond in the way that the community wanted to see you respond. In North Long Beach, for us, it was one campaign. It was restoration of Rescue 12. And we didn't have Measure A just yet. We didn't have a path, but we worked together the entire time to figure out strategies and solutions and how we could create that pathway to restore Rescue 12. And when we finally got it done, it was you that said, Councilmember Richardson, I'm glad to report that we've diminished response times by 3 minutes in North Long Beach. I know that was something you were proud of, something I'm still proud of, and I have to tell you, North Long Beach appreciates you, and I thank you for your service, and I look forward to whatever this next chapter presents. And if you ever just feel nostalgic about visiting a fire station, my office is in the old Fire Station 12, so we'll take the old retired Ghost, and you can come hang out with all the retired North Long Beach firefighters. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Andrews.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to thank you for your service and commitment to our fire department. I think when Pat was telling me about when they were going to announce the new fire chief, and he mentioned you, and I No, Pat, I think you got the wrong, this little kid cannot become the fire chief. And I look at you now and I'm trying to figure out, it's something about you that you're eating, because I know I take oatmeal all the time. But no one can look this young at that age, because I know you're over 30. So I just want to tell you, young man, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And you and your new department, which you run, impeccable. And I wish you well in your retirement. And I did have a present, but we got to do another office holder account in order for us to get you a present. So you're going to have to come back for that. We don't have any money now, but just stick around, big guy. We'll do it, I promise you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Andrews. Councilmember Supernaw.
Thank you. Chief, I'd like to also echo the sentiments of my colleagues. Also, what wasn't mentioned here is that you're a member of a very special fraternity on the department, as was my dad, and that's the Dual Semper Club. As a Marine Corps veteran, you're known by Semper Fi, and with the fire department, Semper Paratus. Those are two great mottos to have as part of your legacy. Also wanted to thank you for your advocacy in my district. First for the restoration of Engine 17, and also another facility that's in 17's area, actually 17 India, and that is Community Hospital. And thank you for always being there for us in that advocacy. Finally, I guess I'll say the fire department is not known for their effusive praise. They're very much understated. So in your own parlance, I'll say job well done. And for that, you're to be highly commended.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So with that, Chief, I just want to, on behalf of the City Council, wanted to conclude, before I give you a few minutes, just to say thank you. This is not the end. You know, this is where we're going to all continue to have a relationship. You've been a great friend. You've been a great mentor. We've been through a lot of very horrible moments together, and I've always appreciated your candor and your honesty and the amount of great moments that we've shared and been able to just soak in and look at our department and see how amazing our fire department is and has grown into be. It's just been really special to watch. And it's been great to see the community support our fire department time and time again. I know that you have we have a great chief coming in who is going to be filling some big boots. But we're very excited about your legacy and your service to the city. And so with that, Mike, I'm going to let you say a few words, and then I'm going to have the council. We're going to come up and take a picture with the resolution. So, Fire Chief.
Mr. Mayor, council members, listen, thank you guys so much. Anybody who knows anybody in the fire service will tell you that fire service guys hate that. I mean, the praise. But before I say what I say, I want to thank Steve Goodling for having all these people come out for me tonight. I can't thank you enough. Steve has always been a class act in that way, and it's really, really nice. I mean, heck, he got John Morris in the city council chambers. So, it's a day of firsts. So, it's been the honor of my life, honestly, to be a Long Beach firefighter. It was a dream since I was a little boy to be a firefighter, to follow in the footsteps of my dad, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and my great-great-grandfather, who was a city employee. But it was the honor of my life to be a firefighter, to your point, Mr. Mayor, to ride in the backseat of a fire engine and put fires out and actually go to people's houses and help them. I mean, that's what I'm wired to do. I want to do that. And, you know, nobody calls the fire department when they're having the best day. They call us when things are not going well. And I found a great deal of comfort in my own personal life to know that when they ran out of options, they called us, and I got to go, and I love that. Becoming the fire chief was a dream come true for me. I never really envisioned it as a young firefighter, but when I went through that process and Mr. West offered me that job, which is a kind of funny story for some other time, but he talked to me for a good 10 minutes after he offered me the job, and to this day I have no idea what he said. Because I was in a little bit of a fog, like a Saving Private Ryan moment. That was really the culmination of a lifelong dream as well, and it's been the honor of my life to serve as your fire chief. But I don't do it alone, and the reality is, as was mentioned, I've got, I think, the very best command staff that has ever been assembled at the Long Beach Fire Department. I will tell you without a doubt, this department will continue to do great things, not only because of the command staff and our staff, but because of our relationships with other city departments, our relationship with our Firefighters Association, Rex Pritchard, and because of the hard work of the men and women that put on the badge every morning and come to this city to serve. our community. I'm absolutely confident this department will do great things going forward that I never even dreamed possible. And I want to commend Mr. West and Tom Modica and all of our department heads. This city has transformed. I'm from Long Beach, born and raised, and you look out the window and you see all the stuff that's happening in this city. It's remarkable. And I'm telling you right now, that's Pat West, and that's Tom Modica, and that's all the other department heads in this city that are making that happen. And I do want to take a moment to, out of personal, just for my own personal well-being, I want to tell you that I've got no better friend in public safety in this city than Chief Robert Luna. He is a class act. His department is a class act. The rank and file are good, hardworking people, just like the fire department, and I want to thank him for being my friend. He's been a great sounding board for me over the years, and I don't care what the city manager said, I'm winning. You know, the truth of the matter is we have a lot in common. Chief Luna and I have a lot in common. In fact, we both started by taking the fire test, so there's that. Last word. Mic drop. Anyway, it's been, honestly, I could get emotional too. The department is doing so many great things I never envisioned as a young firefighter coming up. The future is very bright. I'm absolutely confident and proud of the fact that Chief Espino will be stepping in, and I know he's going to be a man of character. He's going to lead this department with integrity, and I look forward to seeing all the things this place is going to do. So I thank you for the relationship. I thank you for your friendship, really, and I thank all of you for being a good friend to me and my family, and I thank the City of Long Beach for everything I've ever got. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. And actually, before we go up there, I know Councilwoman Price had one more comment.
I cannot believe I forgot to share this story.
I was going to get away without that one.
So, you know you have a good fire chief when this is a conversation that takes place. You get a call from a councilwoman who says, Chief, I need your help. I need a body bag quickly. This is an actual conversation that happened between me and Chief DuRee. And I said, I need a body bag quickly. Please don't ask any questions. I promise you I will return it to you clean. And I kid you not, within about 20 minutes, there was a body bag at my house. No questions asked. It was for a legitimate purpose. We were shooting a public service announcement with the DA's office, and we needed a body bag. But at that moment, I realized what an amazing chief we have that, well, of course, he wouldn't have done it if he suspected any illegal activity on my part. But I will say that to me, just the fact that he's just so approachable, you can call him with stuff like that, and he was just so gracious, and I couldn't let you retire without sharing that story with everybody, because I don't know how many body bags you've delivered to council members' homes. I'm assuming I was the only one, but thank you for that.
Yep. Hopefully none after that. So with that, let's give our chief a big round of applause and going away. Thank you.
Who do we call for body bags now?
Susie, she's got one.
Further back. Further back? Yep. Okay, I'll leave. All right.
Her first.
Hold on.
Really quick. On everyone, 1, 2, 3.